looking for a tip from Price. That goes wide behind the net. Stahl sends out to the right point, not out, held in by Salkel. Salkel tried to dump it back into the far corner, but getting there first was Stahl, and he'll clear the length of the ice. 15 seconds gone on the Buff State power play as Kramer circles behind his own net, picks up the loose puck, and sends up the right wing boards for Turgeon. Now Turgeon will regroup back to his own blue line for Zanella, and Zanella carries into the offensive zone, dumps to the far corner, tried to win the race to his own dump, but getting there first was Caradonna. Caradonna turned it over up the left wing boards for Salkel. Salkel brought to the front of the net. That was steered back to the near corner by Horgan, and the loose puck comes to Caradonna, who clears the length of the ice. Carr out of his crease, plays it right back to the Buff State offensive blue line, but offsides as Price carried it in. An excellent stretch pass from Carr, but up the near side and behind the play, I believe was Turgeon, who was about 5 feet offside.
It was Zanella, and I think it was Zanella who actually turned and was looking for a point pass as Caradonna was coming up on him, and he threw that puck back to Carr, and then kind of put his head down and took his time getting out of the zone, and kind of kills Buffalo State's chance at a quick 2-on-1.
Faceoff comes all the way back to the Buff State zone, where it is won by Whipple. He'll leave behind the net for Cleaver, and now Cleaver sends up the right wing wall for Whipple again, who carries to center for Buff State and dumps down behind the ice night net. Brown chasing after it with Whipple and McGraw. Brown gets there first, sends up the near boards, not out as it's held in by Rossi. Rossi only able to chip it softly up the near wall. Now comes back to Rossi. He gets for Cleaver, who goes back for Rossi once again. Point shot towards net, blocked in front. That goes off a leg in front. The leg of Burst is still laying between the circles as Burst sends back out to the right point again. Shot towards the net by Cleaver, saved by Horgan. The puck still loose in the crease, and the whistle blows as it's a premature whistle. The puck was still loose, but a great save by Horgan off the deflection by Burst, then the deflection by Whipple. 45 seconds to go on the Buff State power play. Yeah, it's exactly the sound positioning we've been talking about for the past 2 or 3 weeks. Nick Horgan in net, he is just so sound. It's just always in the right spot to make the first and second save. McGraw and Shell on the draw. Shell falls off the faceoff and sits on top of the puck. And we'll see if there's any deliberation right off the draw. Either Shell fell on purpose or blew an edge and just fell on top of it. Once he was on the ground, he just wrapped his arms around the puck and sat on it. And now the referee having a conversation. My guess, don't do that again. With 3:25 to go in a scoreless first period, still 45 seconds left on the Solomon minor. Face-off is McGraw and Shell again to Horrigan's left, as it's won back by the Bengals and dumped behind the net. Burst has control, working against Caradonna. He'll swing it around the near boards out to the left point for Rossi. Rossi sends right point now Cleaver. Down the far half boards, controlled by McGraw. Shot towards the net, saved by Horgan. It pops up in the air and lands in the glove of Horgan. He'll take the whistle once again. Face-off will move to his left. 3:06 to go in the first. Each power play for Buff State in this period has definitely improved with each one. The second one, like I said, a couple good chances. That one from Price, but even here, 3 or 4 shots, a couple good deflection looks, and Nick Horgan's been solid down low. Whipple and Vitt for the draw. Whipple wins it clean, but wins it a little too clean as it goes past Rossi and all the way back into the Bengal zone. And Rossi will chase that down and carry it back out to center. Into the offensive zone, top of the right circle, carrying into the far corner around Stahl, still working behind the net to the near corner. And now out to the left point for Cleaver. Cleaver, wrist shot towards net, blocked in front off Caradonna. Loose puck comes to the near corner. Stahl with all kinds of time, puts it off the glass and all the way down back into the Buff State zone. We're back to 5-on-5. Stretch pass from Clayton Lewis to the neutral zone for McGraw. McGraw had it at the blue line but struggled to gain control as Solomon out of the box was able to track him down. Puck now behind the Ice Knight net. McGraw battling for it against Hampson. Gets some help as swinging out from behind the net is Price. His shot from a sharp angle hit off the leg of Horgan and goes to the far half boards. Now the puck in front for Price again, jams it towards the net, and Horgan has control as Price gets 3 different opportunities on loose pucks in front. Hampson and Solomon kind of just staring at him, but Horgan able to hold on. The first one actually came, I believe, from Price from the corner, but then, like you said, he got a quick shot off. Hampson almost handed it back out to him as the puck, again, rolled off the end of his stick. Price shot it again, hit off the skate of Hampson, and back to Price. As it's Zanella and Brickler for the draw off to Horgan's left. Zanella wins it forward, gets the shot towards the net. That's blocking away to the near half boards by Horgan. Down from the point was Rivnik to play it behind the net, but no one there for Buff State. Collins able to send out to center for Brown. Brown leads for Brickler. Brickler enters the offensive zone. Top of the right circle. Drops for Standemir. His shot was blocked by Turgeon. Back the other way come the Bengals. Price gives for Turgeon down the left wing boards, trying to walk around Brown, but Brown able to stand him up nicely. Collins back on the back check, trying to take away from Zanella, but Zanella has control and sends out to the left point for Rivnik. Rivnik over to the right point. Lewis, wrist shot towards that, deflected in front by Zanella into the chest of Horgan, and it'll hold. As Lewis sent it towards the front of the net, Zanella coming east-west across the front. Got a good piece of that. Horgan squeezes the legs together and hangs on. Horgan's done a great job, Brian, through the deflections we talked about, but I don't understand why there are so many Buffalo State players in front of him. That I think Geneseo's defense has to do a much better job of clearing those guys out in front
and giving their goaltender a better chance to see the puck.
1:45 to go in the first period, still scoreless, as there'll be Whipple on the draw. You talk about Geneseo clearing space in front, you're absolutely right, but this top line we talked about is three bodies that are pretty hard to move. As Siglarski wins to the far corner, Hampton has it at the left wing boards for Ripple. He's challenged by Whipple, but able to jam it out to center where it's controlled by the Bengals, high in their own zone. Kramer sends up the left wing boards for Avery, who will chip down behind the ice night net. Horgan chases it down, reverses it away from pressure into the near corner for Solomon. Solomon sends up the right wing boards for Vitt, but that was stolen away by Shiro, who sends behind the net for Avery. Avery for the Bengals, working against Hampton for the Ice Knights. Hampton, good defensive play, takes it away, but now Solomon picks it up between the circles and flips it over the glass. Not what he intended, but actually a helpful whistle. The Ice Knights won't be able to change, but again, very erratic in the defensive zone like we've talked about over the last couple weeks.
And especially during one shift, like you said, just have a breather and just to start from square one for a face-off. They start running around, guys start losing their position, and that's where, Taylor Price sneaks alone by himself for a good chance.
Vitt and Rossi for the face-off to Horgan's right. Vitt wins back to the near corner for Solomon. He swings around to the left wing boards, and Hampton gets to it and shoves it just over the line out to center. Solomon in front of his own bench, leads it through the neutral zone for Siglarski. Siglarski has it in the offensive zone, has stick held from behind by Shiro, no call. Ripple able to regain high in the offensive zone, gets for Siglarski. Siglarski into the near corner, sends to the front looking for Sharpie. Pass goes all the way through to the left point for Stahl as there's 45 seconds left in the first period. Siglarski in the far corner, lost control of Rossi. Rossi sends to center. It's regathered by Stahl, who turned it right back over to Rossi, and Rossi sends ahead for Salkeld, who jumped down behind the ice night net. Caradonna after for Geneseo, swings it up the right wing boards for Sharpie. Sharpie delays, looks for a passing lane high in his own zone. Still no one there, so he'll carry it ahead. Now we'll send to the blue line for Ripple. Ripple back here towards the front of the net. Ricochets to Sharpie. His shot towards the net block. Puck comes high in the Geneseo offensive zone. First one there is Balzan, and he'll carry ahead into the offensive zone. Sends it in front looking for burst. But a good defensive recovery by Caradon. Knocks it back out to center. Ripple on the loose puck. 10 seconds to go in the first period as Ripple dumps behind the Buff State net. Cleaver has control. He'll delay. Sends up the boards for Burst. And Burst chips it out to center with 2 seconds and 1. And that'll do it for the first period. A lot of helter-skelter. A lot of very, very calm, innate offense that's matched with bursts of sporadic success. We looked at the fourth line for Buff State, which really had a lot of success just throwing loose pucks into the slots and seeing what happens. And they had a few pucks that bounced in on Horgan, but Horgan very, very sound through 20 minutes.
I mean, Horgan, even through the first 5 or 6 minutes, shots were 7-1 in favor of Geneseo. Now you look up there, they're 14-8 in favor of Buff State. So, a 13-1 swing at one point. And I think Nick Horgan did a great job, especially on the power play where we talked about so many shots from the outside, but really a lot of traffic in front of him, and he makes the first save, but the second save even better than the first one. He's been making a good road period for Buff State.
Hey, talk about the Buff State power play. Their first opportunity of 3 had no shots at all. After that, they kind of seemed to figure out what was going to work. Point shots were going to work, shots on the outside, and traffic in front. Cam Hampton had a little trouble in that period clearing the front of the net. Matt Solomon had trouble clearing the front of the net. And guys like Price in particular, and also Mike Zanella, guys with size that Geneseo had a real hard time clearing from the front. Horgan had to make several good saves through traffic. On the offensive end for Geneseo, really not a whole lot to talk about after the first, really 3 shifts where they amassed 7 shots. They only had 1 shot the last 13, 14 minutes or so. And a lot of offensive zone possession time, but a hard time establishing the front of the net. Where Geneseo is having a hard time clearing the front of their own net, they're also having a hard time winning the battles in front of Kevin Carr.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think possession's a good point, because even you see chances like Tyler Bricker coming in kind of 2-on-2, cuts to the net, gets a chance. Ryan Sandemer with a couple good shots. Actually, he run one off the crossbar. Probably the best chance for Geneseo in the first period, but like you said, not a lot of sustained pressure for Geneseo in the offensive zone, and that's something you're going to need. You're going to need that. Obviously, you're going to need pressure in the offensive zone, but you're going to need bodies, like you said, bodies in front of Kevin Carr. Get him off of his game, because, like you said, he's a very good goaltender if you're just shooting pucks at him, shooting pucks in his chest.
20 minutes.